Buying an iPhone seems super easy, but even such a simple thing, people tend to make little mistakes that later snowball into big and annoying problems. Uncle Arthur is here to help. Watch this video to find out how to never regret buying a new iPhone. The most common mistake you can make while buying an iPhone is picking the wrong storage size. I know quite a lot of people who bought the cheapest version of the newest iPhone and regretted it later. For some people, 128 gigs isn't enough and they need more even with an iCloud subscription. And if you're one of such people, then you should never skim on storage, just because it will always come to haunt you. Not having enough storage forces you to constantly juggle with your files, delete stuff, and rearrange everything. From this point of view, spending $200 extra to double your storage isn't a terrible thing to do. Sure, there is always an option to just buy an iCloud subscription, but there will always be a problem of accessing your files when you need them. iCloud is a cloud storage, and all your files get uploaded to the remote servers, while your phone only stores links to them, or when it comes to photos, low-res versions of them. And each time when you need to rewatch an old video of yours, you need to wait a little for the video to download to your phone from the cloud. If you're always connected to the World Wide Web, this isn't a problem, but if you travel a lot, need to store a lot of files on your phone while having them accessible all the time, then you might really want to consider paying a bit for additional storage. It's not that bad paying $200 to go from 128 to 256 gigs when you think about the prices for original Apple accessories. And buying them right when you're ordering your new iPhone can also be a mistake. First, these accessories are expensive. $50 for a silicone case, $60 for a fine woven case that will get dirty and scratched up in just a few hours. I'm sure the material itself is a feat of engineering. People online have been complaining about the durability of these cases. There are so many great alternatives available if you're willing to spend just a couple of minutes to look for them. For example, Apple stopped making leather cases for iPhones this year, so the only option from Apple that you have is that fine woven case. But on Amazon, you can find real leather cases for around $40. And those cases will look like a piece of art, a testament to craftsmanship and quality. And don't even get me started on cables. Do you know that the cable you get with the iPhone 15 Pro in the box only supports USB 2.0 speeds? And to get full advantage of the high-speed USB-C, you need to pay for a Thunderbolt cable. Apple sells it for $70. For this kind of money, you can easily buy an external SSD from Samsung and get a fast USB-C cable in the box. All I'm saying is, try to find the right accessory for you and not just buy whichever one is easier to get. Sure, buying an expensive case from Apple isn't the worst thing that could happen to you, but choosing the wrong phone definitely is. I know some of you might get angry right now and start typing a hateful comment, but let me just say one thing. Not all people watch as many videos about iPhones as you do. I know a lot of people who buy iPhones just because they're used to them. And many of these people don't really want to spend too much money on a phone, so they bury their wants and start making compromises with themselves. When they want to buy the 15 Pro, they buy the regular 15. Well, it's almost the same phone, so why not? And then these people see someone with the phone they wanted or try out the phone in the store, and then using their iPhone becomes a dreadful experience. Trust me, you don't want that. I advise you to take your time and do your research first, and only then place an order. The iPhone 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max are quite a bit different, especially when it comes to the cameras. 15 Pro only zooms up to 3x, while 15 Pro Max can do 5x. 3x is better for everyday use, but 5x is better for creative photography. The battery in Pro Max is also noticeably bigger than regular 15 Pro. As for the 15 and 15 Plus, the main difference is the size of the display and the battery. Feature-wise, these are two identical phones. But alongside them, Apple also sells iPhone 14 and 14 Plus, as well as the 13 and SE. It's not easy to make a decision without researching everything properly, without trying the phone yourself. So go to the store, try out the phone, see how they all feel in your hand, and if you already know which phone you want, just follow your heart. The same can also be said about picking the iPhone color. People often buy a white or black iPhone simply because these colors are easier to sell later, even if they actually want a blue phone. As for picking the color itself, you have to keep in mind that not all colors are equally practical. For example, the Titanium 15 Pro and Pro Max come in 4 colors: white, black, blue, and natural titanium. If you opt for the blue or black versions, every time you drop the phone or scratch it, you will see a permanent mark. On white or natural titanium colors, it would be harder to see these scuffs. And if you opt for the regular iPhone 15, with the hopes of getting yourself a bright and colorful phone, maybe you might want to look at iPhone 14 instead. The colors of the regular 15 and 15 Plus are a bit pale and neutral, not very vibrant. But as I already said, you should always follow your heart. It won't fail you. Another mistake you can make is ignoring Apple Care Plus. If you don't know what this is, it is a special program that for a low price of $200 for 2 years or $10 a month gives you full protection from physical damage. Obviously, it will not make your phone impossible to damage. This just means that if you damage or destroy your phone, you would just go to the Apple Store and they would replace or fix it for free. And this is a great thing to do if you're clumsy or damage your phone often. $200 sure isn't a small price, but that's for 2 years, and you don't have to worry about breaking your phone ever again. There's also a different tier of this care package that also lets you get a new phone if your old one gets stolen, and it costs $13.50 a month, which isn't all that bad. It's like a couple coffees at Starbucks. So I think not paying this money to be sure that your phone will always be in tip-top shape could be a mistake on your part. But it all depends on you, how you use your phone, and where you live. I also want to give you a few pieces of advice for the next time you buy an iPhone, but before that, very important. We are hiring. Our team is expanding, and right now we're looking for YouTube script writers. You must have knowledge in artificial intelligence, Apple technology, and technology in general. Be aware of what's going on in the tech world and a desire to create awesome YouTube content. And of course, not for free. In order for your application to be considered, you need to write a 1 to 2 pages script about your personal experience with your favorite tool or device. Anything really. Top 5 AI tools for parents, MacBook experience, iPhone experience, or even AirPods, doesn't matter. The main thing, it has to be interesting to read, interesting to listen, and interesting to watch. Keep in mind that your script is a future YouTube video, so avoid a scientific writing style. It doesn't have to sound like an article from the web, but it does have to sound like a real human explaining something in simple words, with jokes and real life examples. And also describe your experience as a script writer. If you have already created YouTube scripts, that's awesome. If not, just describe your experience, what you do, and your portfolio. So basically, we're looking for someone with YouTube experience and a passion for AI and technology. Send us the test script to this email, and in the subject line put AW job application followed by vertical line followed by your first and last name. In the body of your email, at the top, again, put your first and last name. Then give us some information about yourself and attach a document, which is the test script you've created. And that's it. Have fun with it and good luck. Tip number 1, try selling it yourself rather than opting for a trade-in. Trade-in program seems really convenient. You send to Apple your old phone, pay the difference, and get a new phone, rinse and repeat. And it does work exactly like that, except you could make a tad bit more if you just sold your phone on eBay. For example, iPhone 14 Pro in mint condition, regardless of the storage you have, will yield you only up to $520, or even less than that. The 14 Pro Max in the same perfect condition, even with a terabyte of storage, that did cost you $1,600 will give you only $630 tops. But if you just go on Facebook Marketplace or eBay, you'll be able to sell your iPhone for way more than that. For example, the 14 Pro in its basic 128 gig config can be sold for around $750. The 14 Pro Max with 1 terabyte of storage can yield you over $1,000. $1,000 is much better than $630, am I right? Another thing that I personally wouldn't do when buying an iPhone is opting for a special upgrade program that costs $50 a month and gives you a new phone each year. The program itself is fantastic, especially if you can pay for it, but let me just pull out a calculator and do the math. $50 multiplied by 12 is $600 a year. Is it even more than you would pay if you just traded in your 1-year-old iPhone? And it's way more than you would have paid if you just sold your phone on eBay and paid some extra to buy the phone brand new. I think if you have some extra cash laying around, then this upgrade program could be a very cool thing, but if you're trying to be extra careful about spending, you might want to resist this temptation. Great program though. In case you want to be extra careful with money, I advise you to check out the Refurbished section. And even though it can be difficult to find the latest iPhone models there, such instances do occur. But more often you can buy 1 or 2-year-old iPhones at a bargain. And the best part about these iPhones is that they come pretty much brand new. These are the phones that Apple would trade in, but Apple only takes the motherboard from them. The company replaces the housing, the display, and the battery, repackages the phone in a new box, and sends it out to customers. All of these phones do get warranty when you buy them, no strings attached. These are pretty much new phones with 0 drawbacks. Most often, of course, people buy refurbished Macs and not iPhones, but if you're persistent enough, you can find pretty great deals on recent iPhone models. For the ultimate money saving, you can always opt for a used phone, but it can turn sour really fast. Used iPhone market is wild, and sometimes you can find amazing deals. However, it's really easy to buy a phone and then find out that it has a replaced battery inside. When buying a used iPhone, be sure to test everything properly. Download a special testing app, check the settings for any warning messages. The main 2 messages you don't want to see are important display message and important battery message. If you see the first one, this means the display is not original or taken from another iPhone, and if you see the second one, the battery has been replaced. So I would advise you to look for a deal online instead of buying a used iPhone in questionable condition. For example, the 15 Pro on Best Buy is only $8.99 with a new line or account. A good deal. You still get 1 year of warranty, you still get a fully original and new phone, but slightly cheaper. And if you're fine with buying a slightly older iPhone, then it's definitely better to stay away from the used market. On websites like Amazon, you can buy the 14 Pro for around $635, which actually is a pretty good deal. Buying an iPhone is really easy, and the mistakes are also easy to avoid if you just spend a bit more time in research and make the decision with a cold head. Don't rush things, compare a couple offers, consider what you want and what you need, and then you will definitely buy the right iPhone and not waste a single dollar while doing so. And if you also want to buy a MacBook and don't know which one to get, we recently made a video where I went over each and every chip Apple offers and explained who should buy it and why. Thanks for watching, and see you there.